visuals are from France. Hundreds of thousands have participated in street protests and strikes against the Macron government. As a mark of protest, properties are burned, train tracks are blocked, iconic monuments are shut, and unions have gone on strike. On 20th March, around 740,000 people protested across the country. A few days back, on 23rd March, 1.9 million people protested against the Macron government. In fact, people have been protesting in France since 19th January after Prime Minister announced the French pension reform plan. People want the new pension reform plan to be revoked. In contrast, President Macron has consistently said he plans to press ahead with the retirement system changes.
There's social dissent against this reform, but that should not mean that everything should stop. That's normal. We're continuing our work, because it's true that there are still problems of inflation. We have to reduce unemployment in our country. We have to have a response regarding the drought problem. We have to prepare for the coming seasons.
The questions here are, what does the new pension reform plan propose? Why the government wants to bring a change? And why the French citizens are unhappy about it? Let's find out, but before that, please like, share, comment on the video and subscribe to the Money Control YouTube channel. Now the new pension reform plans proposes several changes. First, the retirement age has been proposed to increase from 62 to 64 years. The change will gradually increase by 3 months per year from September 2023 until 2030. Second, from 2027, workers must make social security contributions for 43 years rather than 42 years to draw a full pension. Third, for new retirees, guaranteed minimum pension income of not less than 85% of the net minimum wage, or roughly 1,200 euros per month at current levels. Fourth, after 1 year of retirement, the pension of those receiving a minimum income will be indexed to inflation. Now, why does the government want changes in this pension system? As per President Macron, changes are needed to protect the French pension system from collapse and maintain control of government expenditure. As of 2021, France spent almost 13.6% of its GDP on pensions, and the government claimed that the pension deficit will increase to 113 billion euros by 2030 unless a new plan is introduced. In the French pension system, workers pay pensions through their levies. However, as per the government, the workers to pensioners ratio is going down. So as per the government, the new plan is essential to prevent financial burden and collapse of the pension system. The new plan will bring some changes. Firstly, it will boost the employment rate among 60-64-year-olds. In France, the employment rate in this age category is just 33% compared with 61% in Germany and 69% in Sweden. According to the Labour Ministry estimates, the reform will yield an additional 70.7 billion euros per year in annual pension contributions by 2030. The government said pensions of the poorest 30% of the population will increase by 2.5 to 5%. Now, how have people reacted to this plan? First, the labour unions. The labour unions believe that the proposed changes are unfair. It will disproportionately affect low-skilled workers who start their careers early in tiring jobs, and have called the government to abandon the measures completely. Second, political opponents. They argued that there are other ways to get financing for pensions, for instance via tax on the wealthy, but the government says that taxes in France are already high. And third, critics. Critics believe that raising the retirement age and requirements on career length will specifically affect women. Many women leave the workforce to raise a family, rejoining after lengthy gaps. According to the proposed reforms, this woman will still have to put in 43 years of work or turn 67 to avail the full retirement benefits. The new plan is opposed by all labour unions, the hard-left opposition parties as well as the far-right National Rally. Now Macron needed to pass this reform at the National Assembly, that is the lower house of the parliament. For this, the government required the support of right-wing legislators. But on 16 March, French Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne invoked Article 49(3) of the Constitution to enact the pension reform without the parliamentary vote. Article 49(3) of the Constitution allows the country's president to push reform in the parliament without a parliamentary vote. The decision to invoke Article 49(3) added more fuel to the fire, and bypassing the parliament vote led to more protest and violence in different parts of the country. The protests are still going on, but President Macron believes that a solution can be achieved through dialogue.
We know that there is dissent and opposition. That's why the Prime Minister will meet with unions next week. And so there are movements that are allowed in the framework of our democracy, and there is dialogue that is ongoing. There are also time frames so that the democratic path of this bill can be achieved.
It will be interesting to see if President Macron can convince the union and its political opponents to support the plan amid violent protest in the country. Money Control will keep track of the story and will surely update you regarding that.